Welcome in, Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas. Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Pros Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
It's all dark in here, Rick. Look at this.
See that? It's completely black.
It's dark, my friend. Do, 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 do. You want to sing with me this morning?
Not really.
Let it be a sweet.
You don't know any of the words to the songs I know.
I don't know why this thing is. I guess we'll
What did you unplug?
Yeah, I was so happy because we started this thing
Right on time.
way on time.
Right on time.
Way on time. And then, of course, there's going to be something.
Yeah.
Always something. It's like somebody told me, you need a checklist. I said, man, this isn't an airplane. I'm not going to take 5 hours to take off. You know what I'm saying, Rick?
Well, it was working yesterday.
Yeah,
There we are.
Sometimes you just got to have the hour of power.
How long is your hour of power?
Hour of power.
Hour of power.
Remember that show? Wasn't that a pastor from the Crystal Cathedral?
Something like that.
Coming at you live from San Diego, California. This is the Hour of Power. Made bird noises and all sorts of.
Is that what that was?
Gobbledygook.
I don't know.
You ever use that
I
word?
can make turkey noises.
Do you ever use this gobbledygook?
Gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook.
Gook.
Gobbledygook. What about goop?
Never heard of gobbledygook.
Well, you old goop, you old gooper. Welcome in as we get rolling here this morning. Always a interesting intro here on the show. It's
this morning it was completely blank.
Completely blank. Well, at first it was
yesterday.
It was yesterday.
I saw Jason there.
We just had to give him a little credit. Look, we're just kind of just moseying on through this morning. It's kind of like whenever when you work for someone. Now, I don't do this, but let's say you have a construction job or maybe you work for a septic company and you're out, doing the porta potty delivery. It's kind of like one of those things where you just kind of drive real slow to let the day go longer. That's the way it was coming in this morning. I was behind this guy in a construction truck. Not like you could tell he was like a contractor type guy, right? and he was just going half the speed limit. And there was no way I could get around him because of how all the cars were and everything. And I started thinking, this guy's probably just delaying his time to just delay his time. You know what I'm saying? Are you picking up
or maybe he doesn't know how to shift.
I have no idea. I think he just wanted his day to go by, a little bit easier. So my dad taught me that. He goes, son, if you ever get behind business vehicles and they're driving half the speed limit, they're probably just trying to drag out the time so they don't have to do as much work.
I used to work for somebody, and I didn't do that.
It's because you were a good worker, I get over here as quick as I can within the legal limit of speed. I get over here as quick as I can.
Well, I got over here fairly quick today.
I'm rushed every morning, by the way.
I'm not.
I am. I'm stressed out every morning.
Every morning?
Every single morning.
Why is that?
It's because it's like a box of chocolates. I never know what I'm going to get with my kids in the morning. I never know.
You should enjoy that.
That's what everybody tells me.
Before you know it, they'll be off on their own. They won't have anything to do with you.
The 120 over 80 days are long gone. Those have been gone for a long time, brother.
I'm at 117 over 70.
See, that's really good. Is that with assistance or just?
Oh, this is with assistance.
Okay.
My wife slaps me until I.
That shouldn't make you go.
Get your blood pressure down.
Knocks the pressure out of you. Kay, we miss you this morning.
I miss her every morning.
Yeah, Kay's busy this morning, but we sure do miss her, and we are here as we get rolling on this new day, a rainy day ahead, maybe even some thunderstorms in the forecast on episode number 496 of Good Morning Huntsville. We want to welcome you into our little living room, kind of.
Yeah, it's not really a living room, but it looks like one.
Our quaint little room.
It is quaint.
Little feller.
I love the wooden walls.
Yeah, until you look through it and you see the green through the cracks, Yeah,
yeah, I guess you can.
Yeah.
If you really look.
Now I just made that notice. But hey,
nobody can see it.
As we infiltrate your vision today, or your ears, we want to welcome you in to our little corner here in Huntsville, Texas. I wanted to always say it was like Huntsville's living room, but that is dedicated to Linda McKenzie over at the Republican office. I've always said that's Huntsville's living room.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. If you ever just want to go have a good chat, just go in there and talk to Linda. I just love it's so comfortable in her. Even when she was next door where Paul used to be, she was two doors over. I used to just go in there. I loved going in there and just talking to her. And I'm going to tell you something. Linda had sent me a text message on Easter. And, text messages are starting to go away.
Are they?
Yeah, it's not as prevalent as they used to be.
I still text all the time.
Like for birthdays, for example. I used to get so many birthday text messages. Now I just get them on Facebook. It's kind of sad. Oh, I got like 2 birthday texts, and that was it. I used to get like 10 of them.
I'm sorry. Did I miss your birthday?
No, you didn't. You probably told me on Facebook, which is okay. but I mean, there was people that always used to text me, and now they don't. And one of them is a family member.
Oh my!
Now my sister still calls me, my immediate family, but when my extended family used to call me instead, they just Facebooked me. My uncle still calls me. He calls me usually a day before my birthday. He never forgets, and that means so much to me.
That's good to know.
But it's. I think we're starting to lose some of that now because of all this internet mess that's been going on for 30 years. Can you believe that? 30
It
years
is hard to believe because, the first 30 some odd years of my life, we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah, I don't even remember half of it. No, I do remember what it was like. It's more peaceful.
It was. You could go away for the weekend, nobody could get a hold of you.
Nope. And if you had to do something, you had to run to a payphone somewhere. Mm-hmm. Then you had to find a quarter. My boss was a smart aleck back in the day. I guess he's trying to teach me a lesson. But this was funny because I worked for an internet company, a computer company. I bugged this guy. I bugged Keith like crazy to give me a job. He said, I can't give you a job. You're not 16. And I said, don't even have to pay me. Just let me come in there and hang out. And finally, he got so sick and tired of me bugging him. He said, just come in here and I'll put you on the payroll. Just don't tell anybody. And so he owned the business and he put me on the payroll. I was making pretty good money, $7 an hour. I was in junior high.
Wow.
And he gave me my first job over there.
I don't make that now.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought, and then I worked there for several years. I think it was 8th grade and then 9th grade. And I remember I thought I was cool because I had a Motorola pager. And I was the on-call technician for the internet company when I was in junior high. It was awesome, man. And but Keith, he was the co-owner. There was another side of the business that did computer repair. And this was it Brian? I think his name was Brian. Well, one day I couldn't make it into work. Well, I didn't have a cell phone or anything, obviously. I had I had a text pager. But I only could receive messages on it, and it would tell me, hey, call this number, someone's trying to get a hold of you, and then I'd have to go run to a phone somewhere. Well, I was running late, and in fact, I don't even think I went in that day. And I should have called him, but I didn't. I was like, well, it's not really I didn't think it was a real job at the time. So I didn't call him, so I came in the next day, and he goes, what are you doing here? I said, well, I'm coming to work. He goes, well, you didn't come in yesterday. I thought you quit. I said, Brian, I didn't quit, man. I had stuff going on at school. I think it was like football practice, He goes, well, you need to learn how to get a hold of us. You can't just come and go as you please. So what he did, as a smart aleck, is he took a business card of his and he taped a quarter to it. And he goes, now you never have an excuse to not call me. He said, put this in your wallet. And I should have kept that. I really should have. But Brian taught me a life lesson. And I think that was the moment that I realized that a job is a job. Like, you can't horse around. And I never did after that. I always made sure I called people and told them what was going on. And I learned a lot working for that company. And I'm so grateful to Keith because he was a very integral part of helping me to get where I was at. Even today I give him credit. I still see him on Facebook. And it's just neat how connections in life happen and things happen. But it was a wonderful time with all the internet and the technology. We were talking about some of that on the show the other day. It was neat. Now the only thing that's really got me excited about technology, something you probably don't care anything about, AI. The AI stuff.
I use AI.
You got it? Okay. Are you a fan of AI?
Oh, yeah.
AI.
Well, if you have three of them together, it's I.
Yeah, I want them to talk to each other. I get the Alexa and Google to talk to each other.
And what do they say?
They just talk back and forth, and then they finally realize who it is, and then they quit talking. I need to record this. It's hilarious. I guess it understands now. Because it wastes computing time, them doing that. So they don't want to waste up their resources. Anyways, thank you for being with us. Let us know you're out there as we get rolling today. Here again, episode 496. We'll celebrate 500 on Tuesday of next week.
I'll be here.
Come on, man. Come on down here. I thought about taking the show somewhere else, though, to make a little more room. Maybe like the Sam Houston Community Room or something, and then invite people to show up.
There'd be more room there, definitely.
And if I'm going to do that, I've only got a couple of days to plan that.
Yeah, you better start getting with Billy.
Yeah, so we'll figure something out. But, hey, welcome in. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all your jewelry needs. Go by and see our good friend Elliot Herzlich. And also, of course, here on this very wonderful Wednesday, it's a no-K Wednesday. It's not okay because it's
no-K.
It's no-K, and we miss her.
I miss her.
Yes, it's a no-K Wednesday. But Kay, if you're out there watching, we love you and we miss you. But it is brought to you by our foundation support from Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. They have been serving this area for over 27 years. More information is online at tomorrowspromise.info. You guys were at a conference last week.
Yes.
Didn't bring me back anything from where you were at.
We went to Las Vegas.
I know, and I gave you a quarter.
And I spent it.
Attached to a business card.
Yeah, I put the whole thing in the machine. They called security and everything.
Did you get a chance, if you don't mind me asking, did you get a chance to pull a slot or anything?
I did not do anything like that.
I know some people say, well, gambling's bad, but if there's like a quarter in my pocket, here's how I justify it. You want to hear my justification?
I want to hear your justification.
When you go to a theme park, you spend a ton of money.
I don't go to theme parks.
Well, there you go. So if you look at it as an entertainment thing and you don't get wrapped up in, oh, man, I'm going to win all this, then I think it's okay. That's just my thought.
Well, I don't like to do it. I've never won. But I have seen Kay win before.
If you go in with a mindset of a budget and say, like, okay, well, I would have spent $200 at Fiesta, Texas, so I'm going to set my budget at $200, and I'm not going to go over that. See, I think if you set boundaries, then I think as long as it's an entertainment thing, that I don't have a problem with it. But the problem starts when people get addicted to it.
I'm not addicted to gambling.
I've
had a lot of gambles in my life. Not even going to go there, are you?
Explain a couple of them.
No, I better not.
I was in Bossier City one time, and we stopped at a place, and I'll never forget I was in there, and this guy was this is the sad part, and this is where it becomes, in my opinion, a sin, and It's when the addiction kicks in, and that's tough. And this guy, I never forget him. It's the one thing that I remember about going to a casino. This guy was slumped over the machine. It was one of the slot machines, and he was crying. And I said, "What's going on, man? Are you all? Are you sick? He's like, "No, man, and I don't want to talk about it." I said, "Okay." Well, then finally, he's like, "I'm so stupid." I said, "What happened?" He goes, "Well, I own a business." I said, "Okay." So I started putting two and two together. This guy just lost a bunch of money.
Oh, my.
That dude took all of his payroll money and gambled it and lost all of it. And he said, "I don't know how I'm going to pay my employees now." And I said, "Brother, you got a problem, man."
Yeah, that makes no sense at all.
That's when it's dangerous. And so, and I didn't want to sit there and say, like, "Well, you moron," because the guy clearly had a problem. Gambled away all of he was a construction dude, owned a construction business.
Oh, my goodness.
Gambled away all of his payroll money, lost it all, and said he didn't know what he was going to do. And in that moment, your first reaction is like, "Well, duh." But then your second reaction is like, "No, this guy has a problem." And you kind of feel bad for him.
I think there's I don't know when they started doing it, but there's like an 800 number around there for people with that gambling addiction.
Yeah, but I wonder how many people.
I don't know.
I'm
not a gambler.
By law, they have to have it on there.
First time I went to Vegas was so long ago that the coin still came out of the machine.
And it goes, brrr, 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 brrr. Reminds me of something you'd see on like one of those, what are those movies with Chevy Chase, those funny ones, the Lampoon movies?
Oh, National Lampoon?
Yeah, it's one of those. But no, by law, I think every one of those has to, by law, I think they have to have an 800 number yeah, right here. I mean, here's one on DraftKings right at the bottom. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah.
See, they're putting a message in there to try to get you to gamble. Do you have a problem gambling? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. And the first thing is they probably train these people when you call them. "Hello, sir. Do you have an addiction to gambling?" "Oh, yeah. Well, let's really figure out if it's a real addiction. How much can you afford to spend?"
Well, payroll a company, I guess.
"Well, I've got about $100 a month." "Well, let's go ahead and see if we can stretch that just a little bit, and then just kind of stay in that area, and I think you'll be okay. All right." "All right, perfect. After the call, you're going to hear a beep. Go ahead and put in your credit card number. Chance to win $50 for this call today." You would think there's probably something like that, but in all seriousness, I understand it is a very serious problem for some people. I've known folks that are that get in trouble, and it's not good. So. Hey, I do want to mention Autumn Wheaton joining us. Many of y'all are joining us. Rick Boning here.
I'm joining you.
Rick's here in person, in the flesh today. Autumn said this. She said, "Casinos are like arcades." I can kind of see it's entertaining. Don't expect to win, and don't bring more than you can afford to lose, and just have fun.
Yeah, makes sense.
My aunt, my great aunt, my grandpa's sister, my Aunt Jessie. I miss her dearly. Miss my grandpa.
Great
obviously.
aunt.
My great aunt. Some people up north, they're like, "It's not aunt, it's aunt." No, it's not. It's aunt. I used to get in an argument with this kid I worked with at the radio station.
I've heard a lot of people here say aunt.
Well, it's aunt.
It struck me as odd.
He got this kid would just, I say kid because he'd always tell me this. It's not aunt, it's aunt. Ant's an insect. Like everything that I said offended some people because of its southern flair. Everything.
You very seldom offend me, unless you play rap.
Yeah, I didn't offend you yesterday, did I?
No.
Okay, perfect.
We were good yesterday.
But I miss my aunt, if you're listening, young man. Aunt Jessie used to, she'd go once a month to Louisiana, and she just played the penny slot. She loved it. Mm-hmm. She thought, "I never expect to win anything." She did a few times, but she just did it for the fun.
Yeah.
She didn't have a problem, and she was a good lady. So.
Well, 20 years ago when we were dating, my company had a day trip to Coshada, and I took Kay along. And I was explaining to her that they no longer have the coins come out of the machine. Now they have a little paper. Mm-hmm. And we're walking into the building, and she looks over, and she pulls out a piece of paper and says, "Like this?" And I said, "Yeah." And it was $100 and some odd bucks that somebody just left in the machine.
It was for her.
Yeah. And she held it up and waved it around, said, "Anybody lose this?" And nobody claimed it, so she used it.
Yeah. Well, you left it.
Well, she's
else
got
claimed it.
luck, and I don't. I don't have that kind of luck.
It's always, when you walk in, here's the funny thing. When I broadcast for Sam Houston, they would, the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference, when they were in that conference for a short time, they would, their basketball tournament was in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. So I went that year, obviously, to call the games, and I'll never forget. They were it was a nice arena in the casino, or right next to the casino. And I forget what casino it was, but it was a really big one. But here's what I'll never forget. When you walk in, you think, did the National Weather Service issue a fog advisory?
Yeah.
Immediately, your clothes become saturated with 5 inches of smoke.
Yep.
Of the cigarette variety. Not only will you have secondhand smoke, but your children's children will acquire this through the blood supply and the genes over the generations.
Yeah.
This is how thick the smoke was.
It wasn't that thick when we were there, but it was noticeable.
The basketball players, by the time they walk, and they're very athletic, by the time they had to walk through the casino to get to the gym, they were all out of breath. They all had oxygen machines. They were all huffing and puffing and coughing. And as they coughed, clouds of smoke would come out of them. It was it's the way it was, man. I'm exaggerating a little
I know
bit.
you are.
But they literally, though, you were caked in, and the whole arena smelled like smoke.
We call that hyperbole.
We call it lay down the wacky tobacco, man. That stuff is good night. Anyways.
I didn't smell any. Well, that's not true. On Fremont Street, you can just walk down there and get a little buzz.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, man, what's going on? It reminds me, too, I'll have one last casino story. Bridget and I, when we first got together, this was when I knew it was time for me to get out of the IT business. Have you ever been involved in something and then there was something that happened that you knew without a doubt, like, okay, this is it. I've got to find a way out of this. And maybe it was anything bad, but have you ever been in a situation like that where
Yes.
you were doing something? It doesn't have to be a job, but it could have been an activity, and you're like, okay, all right, this is a sign that I need to just leave, Well, for me, it was when I had my IT company. There was very distinctive signs that I knew it was time for me to sell that company. The first was a year into it. Now, keep in mind, I ran it for 14 years, so I went 13 years after this. I was under so much stress. Seems like a recurring theme in my life, by the way. Yeah. They used to put the software in these hard-to-open plastic boxes. Remember this?
Yeah.
Now it's all digital downloads. Mm-hmm. But Windows XP, when it had first came out, was in this horrible plastic box. Some of the early ones were in a cardboard box, very easy to open.
Yeah.
Well, then these morons decided, hey, we're going to go ahead and put this in a very hard-to-open plastic.
That's the way they could charge more money for it.
Exactly. And some lady was just absolutely livid with us about erasing her computer and all this stuff. And we told her, we went through everything. We were very detailed. And so I would get defensive whenever I knew that we were in the right. The customer was always right, but there were some times where, like, we were right. And I had it all documented. I said, ma'am, we went over all. No, you didn't. I said, you signed the paper. Do you not remember sitting here with me going over all this? Well, yeah, but you didn't explain it in a way I could understand. I said, it's clear. It's easy. It's not even computer jargon. Number 1, do you have your original reinstall disk? You checked off yes. Number 2, do we have permission to completely wipe out your computer, which means you will lose everything? Yes. Do you need us to back up your data first so you don't lose everything? No, I don't need anything on the computer. So it was very clear.
Yeah, that's clear.
Well, it turns out she didn't have a reinstall disk. And so she fought tooth and nail. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to give you a copy of Windows. Well, you should. And it cost me $200 because it wasn't an OEM license. And I was so mad. I was back there. I just ripped the thing out of well, when I ripped it, it sliced my hand open, the plastic. So I walked back up there with this disc in my hand, and blood was dripping down my hand onto the counter. I said, here's your disc.
Oh, my Lord.
That was 1 year into the business.
Yeah, you might need to work on your customer service just a little.
That was 1 year. She didn't even leave a bad review. So, I guess the blood kind of made her feel bad. So she's like, are you okay? I said, no. I said, I ripped my hand open because you wanted the stinking disc. So that was that was a year into the business, all right? Well, we fast forward. Everything's fine. Oh, then the days of the stress really started piling on. It's kind of like J.G. Wentworth, but computer version. It's my computer and I need it now.
Yeah.
That started a lot. just to give you an idea, I was in and out of the hospital 4 times by the time I was 30. So it was not a fun industry. That's why I admire Kevin over at Anthem. I don't know how. He's calm, cool, and collected.
He's always calm. Well, I've never seen him
Well,
upset.
people thought that about me, but if they worked with me, they would see a different side of me.
You were throwing things in the
Yeah,
back.
I'd go into the truck and like beat the steering wheel after I drove down the street from someone's house. There's so many fun stories. I'm gonna write a book on it one day. But the other distinctive time, I'll fast forward, Rick. There was this poor guy. I don't even want to. Really shouldn't even mention this, but it was just terrible. This guy had animals all in his house, and the poor guy. I almost had to call like adult CPS for this guy. But his wife was there, and she seemed normal. But she didn't do anything. There's just mess all over the house, if you can only imagine.
No, I really can't.
You know what I'm alluding to, though?
Yes, I know what you're alluding to. Animals screaming.
I said, I got to get out of here. And it was a nice house. It wasn't like this guy was struggling financially or anything. I mean, the guy had a nice house and a nice neighborhood. And the dog was right. And he goes, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. They do that.
They do if you take
And
them.
I felt so bad for that. I said, can I help you with something? No, we're fine. And I wanted to say, well, obviously not. And it wasn't like one thing. It was everywhere. And I just remember, Rick, at this part of my life, I knew the Lord, but I wasn't daily in the Word. I wasn't daily praying and all that stuff. But in all the stuff you need to do as a Christian. But in that moment when I felt so bad for that. I remember praying for that guy. I said, Lord, help these people, please, because there's obviously something going on. Mm-hmm. I had to walk out. He wasn't even mad. And he wanted to pay me. I said, no, don't worry about it, sir. I said, I hope you I hope you understand. I can't be in here anymore. I said, I have to go. And he knew why. And he goes, I understand. He's like, well, let me go ahead and pay you for your time. I said, no, I didn't do anything. And I left. I got in the car, prayed for the guy and his family. And then I remember in that moment, I need to get out of this business. The other time, Rick, you enjoying these stories?
I'm enjoying so far.
Are they boring? You know, these are.
Well, you need to ask your.
Yeah, the audience may not like these stories. I'm trying to get you. The reason I'm relating these is start thinking about the things that you've had to go through, and maybe share them in the comments, and we'll read some of them if you want to. The other time, we were just talking about voice over IP telephones. Mm-hmm. We programmed our own VoIP system. I bought my own phones. I found really cheap ones, on Amazon that worked perfectly fine for what we needed. And someone had just went off on me. And I'm so passionate about helping people that when someone gets upset at me, I don't understand it. Not because I'm arrogant in my ability to relate to people or however I want to word that the right way, but yeah. I'm just like, how can you be upset? I've went out of my way to help you. It really upset me. And this person was just screaming, I can't believe this. And I said, man, I've spent 10 hours. I was over at your place after hours, didn't even charge you. What else do you want? Well, that's not good enough. And I just remember I was so drained and so, your cup runneth over, right?
Yeah, well.
My cup was spilling over. It was boiling over, and it was burning my legs as it boiled over the cup. And I'll never forget, Rick, this was the defining moment that I finally got out of the business. And this was bad. I'll never forget when I got off the phone, I remember in my mind, like, don't do this, because my employees were around. And the guy who ran my store, but in my brain I was saying, don't do this, and I did it. I took that phone, and I just slammed it down. And when I slammed it, a piece of it broke. And then in my mind, it was like, don't continue to do this. But in the moment, it felt so good to just destroy that phone. And I remember ripping the Ethernet jack out of it. I threw it, and we had and I slammed it. Poor Travis, he's like, you all right? And I was like, no. And I was shaking. And I said, I got to go outside. And I took that phone outside, and I completely and utterly destroyed it. It went into pieces everywhere. Poor Travis is in the back. The other guys are looking at me like, what happened to him? And Travis came out there, and he put his arm, he goes, man, it's time for you to get out of this business. He goes, I've seen this little by little, but he goes, this is a sign that you need to get out of this business. And I told him, I said, you're right, man. And I made the decision a month later to sell the business. It took 6 months to find the right person, and I sold it and got out of it. And then it was like this weight. And I've never felt that amount of stress again.
Not even around me?
No. Not even
Wow.
around me.
I'm
So
impressed.
yeah, and I think in that moment, it's like I was talking to my cousin on the phone yesterday, and if you're at a point, here's some inspiration for you this morning. If you're at a point that you know, then you know, whatever that may be. You get what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, though?
I get it. I just love the way you word things.
Yeah, I
sometimes.
want to make it easy for people.
Yeah.
You know, my generic way of talking, my uneducated mind.
You're uneducated.
My uneducated mind. I'm serious, though. Think about something that maybe is on your heart. If you know that you know, then you know. Whatever it is today. I'm not telling you if it's something terrible, don't do it. But I'm telling you if you've been struggling in your job and you've, like me, you knew that you needed to get out. I understand you got bills and all, but here's where faith comes into play. And I'm not telling people to go quit their jobs because you got to pay your bills. But trust that the Lord is going to move in your life. And in that moment, when I decided to sell the company, after I'd calmed, I started to get right with the Lord again. And there was just something that clicked in me, like, man, you're doing all this because you're not focusing on me. That was kind of a clear voice that I heard in my heart from the Lord. You're so upset, you're so stressed out because you're not putting me first. And that moment was kind of a pivotal moment in my life, to where in my heart I wanted to do broadcasting, and I made the decision to get out of that business. But I had a plan in place to get out of it. And here's what I'm getting at. If you know that you know, then you know. When you remain in faith, God's going to provide opportunity. May not come in the way you expect it. You're probably going to go through some trials, maybe a little heartache, maybe a little headache. You never know what's going to happen. But when you remain in faith, it's the only thing that I believe will get you through anything.
I'm with you.
And it's not easy. But
sometimes it's not.
But
I mean, we have to do something today that I have no idea why the Lord took him away, but he did.
Yeah. And that's kind of, somehow using the story of the job and all that, but it kind of relates to today. And Tara Burnett had mentioned this, and we'll take a serious tone, but just want folks to know today, just keep Clay Talsworth's family in your prayers today. We're going to honor and celebrate his life. We'd love for all of you, if you knew Clay or if you just knew him online. He had many online friends, people that followed him. Clay was a good man, very, very fun sense of humor. If you knew him, if you didn't know him, you're like, man, who is this guy? But if you knew him, you knew his humor. And he really did have a heart of gold. And I want to encourage everybody to come today at 1 o'clock, I believe, is the service there at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Mm-hmm. So come support the family. And most importantly, let's celebrate Clay's life today, because
I enjoyed Clay.
There's things we don't understand that happen.
Yeah.
So, and you did. You got to know Clay very well. As
I wouldn't say very well.
Was the successor of the
candy company.
The candy company. Yeah. I was thinking of the candy cave. Well, you had the cave. That was your cave.
Yeah.
Did he have a cave?
He had a pantry that he kept it in.
Candy pantry. So when you met Clay, you're like, well, I'm going to expand this to the cave.
No.
That wasn't.
I just didn't have a pantry as big as his.
He had a big pantry. Yeah. Well, hey, let's take a break. It's been a fun opening segment here. I know I've been yakking a lot. Sorry, Rick.
That's all right.
Wanted to share some things. But let us know that you're out there. It's going to be Rick's turn when we come back.
Uh-oh.
You know why?
Yeah.
Rick's Top 10.
Get a lot out of that.
When we come, it gets me wound up, buddy. We'll take a break. Hey, let's give away a Cafe Texan gift card today.
Of course you will.
Let's do it. We've been giving them away all week, courtesy of Cafe Texan, our friend Tiffany Gobble, Vance Howard. All you got to do is text in your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. That number, 936-339-0139. The 0 Degree Creations phone and text line here on Good Morning Huntsville. Text in your name, 936-339-0139. I almost forgot it.
Yeah.
You got a chance to win. We'll take a break. As always, we're brought to you by Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. I know we've been talking a lot, but listen, if you're in a situation to where you need to find childcare, not a daycare, but childcare for your little one, there's no one better in this community than Tomorrow's Promise. They've been serving this community. It says 25 plus, actually over 27 years now. You can get more information online. Get that Montessori education that are going to teach your kids the way that it's taught mine. They are excelling and thriving, and I give credit to the staff at Tomorrow's Promise because they do a wonderful job More information online at tomorrowspromise.info. Let's take a brief break. We'll be back in a moment. It's your show. This is Good Morning, Huntsville. We'll be right back after this, Rick.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Looking for the perfect office space? Drive success with premier office spaces in Huntsville at Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Raven Property Management has moved in, and we're on site ready to give you a tour at 2503 Lake Road. Whether you're a startup, small business, or an established company, our Class A offices provide the professional environment you need to thrive. Flexible leases, modern amenities, and a prime location. This is where business gets done. Execute your success today. Visit HuntsvilleWorkspace.com to schedule your tour.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, and you're listening to Spirit Radio.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
Back at it here. Rick and I were having a little, I was telling him more stories of the IT business. But those stories...
And I was listening to more stories.
Those stories are over. Because now... it's that time we've all been waiting for. It's time for Rick's Top 10. What do you got for us today, Rick?
Oh, my.
It's a national day or something.
It is the national day. Let me find it.
I don't know why I made it sound like I was like throwing up on the Rick's Top 10 today.
It did sound bad. Oh. It's the top 10 hilarious things to do on National Take a Chance Day.
Oh, okay.
April 23rd, because life's too short to play it safe.
These could get bad.
These could.
Nah, they're family friendly.
I don't know about the number 10 here.
It's fun.
Number 10, eat gas station sushi in Oklahoma during tornado season. That's not going to be good.
No. It may cause a tornado.
Yeah. Number 9, let your toddler cut your hair blindfolded with safety scissors.
Well, at least the scissors are safe.
Toddlers. Now, have you met toddlers? Number 8, click on that "You've won an iPhone" pop-up and actually give them your social security number. Well, that's a recipe for disaster right there.
You know how many calls I got in the IT world of people actually falling victim to those scams?
How many?
Oh, several. I could probably give you 12 cases of that.
Number 7, text your ex, "We need to talk." Then turn off your phone and go on a silent retreat.
Luckily, I don't have any exes to text.
That sounds kind of cruel. Number 6, watch a Nicolas Cage movie marathon and defend every single performance like it's Shakespeare.
That's about him, yeah.
Yeah, I think today was National Talk Like Shakespeare Today, too.
Is it?
I think
that's
so.
Probably it.
Number 5, let AI write your wedding vows. Hope your bride enjoys the part about optimal partner output setting. I don't know if she will or not.
That's good.
This one's going to get you in trouble. Number 4, tell TSA you forgot something in your carry-on and wink. You've been singled out.
Forgot something.
Yeah. Number 3, ask Joe Biden for directions to anywhere. Then go wherever he points, no questions asked. Bring snacks. It might be scrambled.
It probably would be.
Number 2, try to explain TikTok to Donald Trump and don't leave until he makes his first dance video.
We have to get a little political on both sides.
I guess we do. And the number 1 take a chance day activity. Try a new hairstyle called the congressional comb over. Requires 1 strand of hair and a gallon of hope. I could do that one.
There it is. Rick's Top 10. Only on a Wednesday.
Only by Rick.
Not brought to you by Tomorrow's Promise.
I don't think my wife would appreciate
No, that was just brought to you by Rick Boning.
Yeah. And Rob Hill.
Yeah. Let's be honest. I help with those, Rick.
You do help.
I won't let you take the heat for all of those. Oh man. Well, it is National. What? Take a Chance Day today. Is there anything you've ever wanted to take a chance on?
I've taken lots of chances.
Something that you took a chance on, maybe, and you were like, should I take a chance on this? And you did, and then you were happy you did it.
Yes.
Can you talk about it?
No, I can't.
You can't. Okay. All right.
Obviously, something doesn't come to mind right away.
Yes, absolutely. I think for me, taking a chance of going to Fargo. I took a chance. I'm glad I did because I learned a lot, and I think it better equipped me when I came back here to Huntsville. There's so many things in life that we go through, opportunities that come along. Mm-hmm. I'm a big believer that if you feel at peace about an opportunity, then definitely pursue it. But there's other opportunities that may be a challenge, and you shouldn't ignore those either. Pray about it, and you'll know in the right time if it's okay, if that's something you should pursue or not, or take a chance on. And for me, it was making that move to Fargo. I didn't want to leave here, but I knew that I had to. And I took a chance flying to Florida. Didn't get the opportunity, but that chance led to an opportunity at NDSU. And so, I want to encourage people this morning. Taking a chance isn't always a bad thing.
Yeah, sometimes it's not a good thing.
That's right.
You cannot beat that light.
Yeah. So don't take a chance at the light. Don't take a chance at other things that you shouldn't. But there's some things that, definitely take a chance. And you never know what that could lead to. Mm-hmm. So maybe you're going through a situation this morning and maybe you've got a new job opportunity. Maybe there's something popping up and you're like, well, I don't know if I should do that. But if you have a little bit of peace about it, pray about it, the Lord's going to tell you if that's okay or not. If you pray about it, you'll eventually feel some. I had a lady in here the other day that came by after the show. We talked for probably a good hour, and there's an opportunity that's came up for her, and she's going to take a chance.
Good.
And I told her, I said, and as we talked, she goes, well, I was seeking some guidance. She said something about career coaching. I said, well, I'm not. Don't put that on me. So I said, I appreciate you thinking of me, but we had a good chat, and I told her at the end, I said, I think you've already answered your question about what you should do. Yeah. And I think the Lord revealed that through certain things. And so, there's nothing wrong with taking some chances. There's some things you definitely don't want to take a chance on, but I'm talking about things that could improve your life or help you get to the next level where you want to get. If you feel at peace, if you prayed about it, the most important thing, if you feel in your heart that this is what the Lord wants you to do, then go for it. Nothing wrong with that. My buddy Kenny took a chance leaving a job and pursuing a career in music ministry, in his late 20s. Never had dated anyone, met the love of his life, got married, had a family, all because he took a chance leaving that job and going to school for music ministry. Now he lives up in Canada. So the chance led him from Central Texas to Canada.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd like to live in Central Canada.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's kind of cold.
Hoser. I like this. Look what Autumn said. Here's what Autumn. Tell us as the audience, what are some things that you would take a chance on? I'd love to hear from you this morning. Autumn said, take a chance. This is a good chance. Take a chance. Talk to the person next to you in line at Walmart or wherever you may be and ask if they have anything they need or want to be prayed with or about. That's a good chance. Take a chance.
That is a good thing.
There's some people, Rick, that are just waiting on somebody to ask them something like that. They're literally waiting for somebody. Maybe they're going through something terrible and they don't have anybody to talk to and they're just waiting on somebody.
Yeah.
And some people won't open up unless you talk to them and ask.
And sometimes not even then. You might have to pry at them for a while.
Yeah, you may have to get a crowbar and just start prying up.
I don't think we want to do that.
Don't do that, man.
That's not the right kind of chance.
That's not the right kind of prying either, man. It reminds me of just, so many different things in life and opportunities that we have. And again, you never know what somebody may be facing or somebody may be going through. And I think it's so important to be mindful of those that are around you. Just like that lady that came in here last week and talked to me for an hour. I had no idea what she was going through. Take a chance. Talk to people.
Yeah.
I was at the Elkins Lake playground yesterday with the kids. We rode over there as soon as I picked them up. Bridget had just got off work, and it was a fairly nice evening. It was a little warm.
Yeah.
But it's shaded over there. The main playground's what I'm talking about.
I know which one. I take my grandkids there occasionally.
Well, there was a young couple there that had a little girl, and Bridget started talking to him. I had taken Mac, and because I wanted him to get out. It's like we're having extra special time with the Golden now. And so I took him with us, and I was walking him around, and then I went and sat on the bench there at the playground while the kids were playing, and there was this young couple was sitting on the next bench over, and I started talking to him. Well, it turns out it was Madeline and Shane Lucier's son.
Oh, really?
Brandon. Had no idea who he was, and we started talking, and just because I took that chance to talk to him, that led to a really great conversation. And had no idea who he was before, and now I know him. And I said, man, I'm putting two and two together. Yeah, I know. I've seen you before, Brandon. And again, it was a chance. And it wasn't just saying, hey, how are you? It was, I'd mentioned something about church. I'd mentioned, hey, I work at First Baptist. And no, I didn't even mention that. I'd mentioned it first. We were talking about children, and I was talking about having two kids and about how it gets tough sometimes. I said it was a lot easier with one. It's gotten tough with two. And I said, I couldn't even imagine 3 or 4. And then I said, my pastor has 10 children. So it's really helped me to put things in perspective and not complain about things. And he goes, well, I know who your pastor is. And he said, Jason. He knew. He said, there's only one guy that I know that has 10 kids as a pastor. And then that opened up the conversation. And it was just neat, And
we do live in a small town.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably know 90% of people live in Elkins Lake.
I mean, it's just neat. You never know what a conversation will lead to. Here's a really cool story, Rick. I'll share one more. You ever go to Quick Trip, the QT stores, Quick Trips?
Every once in a while.
Man, buddy, you talk about that gas station sushi? No way. But you want to talk about Quick Trip food? Yes. They got it going on, man.
Do they?
They have this buffalo chicken roll thing that is just, I love it. Now, it's probably nowhere close to anything good for you, but it's like a tube of buffalo chicken. It already sounds bad, right?
Yeah, pretty much to me.
I love that thing.
Is it like the hamburger you tried to tell me the pizza?
Oh, yeah. No. No, this was good. This was good. Well, never mind, because if I tell you it's good, it's probably not. But I'm in there, and all of a sudden I hear this guy, and he's like, Robin? I was like, no one calls me my real name. He said, Robin Hip? And I turned around. I was like, whoa, Jaime Santos, what's up, man? This dude from junior high had said hello to me, Rick, out of nowhere. And immediately I knew his name. It was so neat. And we started talking, and it was so cool because here's how this is so cool how sometimes things in the world work and the Lord works. This guy, immediately I remembered how I knew him. And in junior high, the teacher had asked me, Jaime was new to our school at Tippett Middle School, and a teacher had asked me to take Jaime around and give him a tour of the school and I was like, yeah, because I got to get out of class.
Why not?
And so he and I started talking, and his teacher was my aunt all the way down in Pearsall, Texas, a town in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he said, yeah, man. I said, where did you grow up? I remember the conversation I had in junior high. I said, Jaime, where did you grow up? Where were you going to school before? He said, man, I was going to Pearsall, Texas. I said, Pearsall? Yeah, you probably never heard of it. I was like, no, I know exactly. I said, my aunt teaches there. I said, who's your teacher? He goes, oh, Susan Thumb. And I said, that was my aunt. That's my aunt. And it's just a neat conversation. So I reminded him. He's like, yeah, I remember, man. I remember all that. And he goes, well, and I'm friends with him on Facebook, but I mean, we don't talk.
Yeah.
We don't talk that much or anything, obviously. But he's like, "No, man, I keep up with you on Facebook." And he's like, "How are your kids?" I said, "They're doing good." And I said, "You have some little ones too." He's like, "Man, I got 3." And I said, "Yeah, it's tough because I decided to wait till I was like 39 to have children." He goes, "Man, I'm 41 and I got a 2-year-old." I said, "Me too." We had the neatest 10-minute conversation randomly on Saturday as Bridget and I were driving back to Huntsville there in Georgetown at Quick Trip. And just this, I just feel like the Spirit of the Lord came over me. And, you know, guys typically, you and I will give each other a hug because we know each other. But if you hadn't seen someone in a long time and you weren't like tight friends, you'd probably just shake their hand, right?
I generally shake hands.
I feel like the Spirit of the Lord came over me, man. And you know what I did? I said, "Jaime, get over here and give me a hug." And he just gave me the biggest hug. And he's like, "God bless you, man. It's so good to see you." And it was like the neatest encounter that I've had in a long time with someone. Just a simple encounter. And you know what? I kind of teared up, and kids made fun of me a lot in school. And it really did. Kids bullied me a lot in junior high and early on in high school. By the time I was in sophomore, I quit caring. I was like, I don't care what anybody else thinks. And that helped me, honestly. And I don't know why. I was just scrawny, and people thought I was
scrawny and short, but I made friends with all the big guys. So
my classmates always told me I was weird. You know, it was weird. And I don't know why. I guess I wasn't into the things that kids were into. I was always more into like things that adults were, you know, like business stuff and all that. As a kid, I would always pretend that I was in business, and I guess that's why I do business now, you know. So to kids, it was strange that I was not interested in sports and all this other stuff, you know, even though I'd played sports some. But I'll never forget that encounter, Rick, because in that moment when Jaime and I gave each other a hug, I kind of teared up, and I said, "Man," I said, "you were always so good to me." And I remember him. I said, "You were always so good to me in school." And I said, "I never forgot that, man." I said, "I appreciate you always being so nice to me." And he goes, "Nah, man, you're a good dude." He's like, I would never be mean to you, man. And I was like, "Oh," I said, "That meant a lot to me, Jaime. It really did." And I teared up, kind of choked up, man. As you get older, you choke up more, right?
No.
Yeah, you do. Come on, man.
What do I get choked up about?
I don't know. I get emotional. Maybe it's that some level that goes down as you get older as a guy, right?
I don't know. I mean,
my blood work says I'm fine, so just saying.
Mine too.
But I just wanted to share that, you know, maybe as a little inspiration, because you never know what's going to happen, you know. So it's pretty neat.
True.
You ever have encounters like that? Maybe somebody
every once in a while. I meet somebody I haven't seen in forever.
It's kind of a neat thing, right?
It's rare that I actually remember who they are. So
now, you didn't grow up in Oklahoma, did you?
Oh no, I'm a native-born Texan.
Whenever y'all go, I know Kay did,
yeah,
and y'all travel up there a lot because of her family. Has there ever been times when y'all were up there and like someone ran into Kay or something?
Yeah, you know, I went to her 35th class reunion.
Oh, that's cool.
And she saw a lot of people she hadn't seen in a long time.
Have you ever been to one of your class reunions?
I have not. If they've had one, I don't know about it. And it's coming up on 50 years. So,
man.
Yeah, I know.
Just did the math. I said, I'm tired of
1977 to 2027.
I'm tired of people in this town lying about their age, Rick. You're only 53.
I am?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like you lie.
So I graduated when I was 50. I mean, when I was 3.
And our sweet Miss Molly who came in here, she fibs about her age. We have another lady, Margaret, at our church. She fibs about her age. There's something. I'm going to tell you, Hunt, there's something there in this town where people just lie about their age.
Do they?
Yeah, they tell me that they're older than they really are.
No, I'm pretty old.
So
I remember sitting on the floor watching them land on the moon on a black and white TV.
You remember do you
yes,
remember?
I was there.
What was that like for you as a child?
It was cool.
Did you want in that moment? Did you want to become an astronaut?
I wanted to be an astronaut ever since they started talking about going to the moon.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I had this paralyzing fear of heights.
Yeah, kind of got to get over that, right?
Yeah.
That brings up another conversation, Rick. Are you still interested in space? Do you?
Oh yeah, I follow it. I watch a lot of astrophysics.
So the mission that they've been putting together, it's not Gemini because that was the original pre-Apollo mission, but the one that they've been working on now to go back to the moon. I think it starts with a G, or no, it's Orion. It's Orion.
Yeah, Orion.
I really, really hope that they
in the
follow
winter
through
you
with
can
that.
see Orion's belt up there. It's named after the constellation.
The galaxy is on Orion's belt.
You've been watching Men in Black
Yeah,
again,
you
haven't
knew it. See, that's why I love you, Rick. You knew exactly what I was talking about. What does that mean? The galaxy is on Orion's. The cat was named Orion.
Yeah.
No, I'm really excited about, President Bush, the son, had this whole plan that we were supposed to be back on the moon by 2020 and Mars by 2030.
Mm-hmm.
That was his plan. Of course, that all got scrapped. And then there was a new plan put into place to get us on the moon by 2030. And that is supposed to be the Orion missions. Man, I hope that we get to go back. Some people say that's such a waste of money, but I don't think so.
How many things have they gotten from the space program?
Tons. Velcro and Tang, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right there.
Yeah.
Two staples of the American economy.
Yeah, Velcro and Tang. But no, maybe what are your thoughts on that? Do you want to see us go back to the moon?
I want to see us go back.
What do you think that would do for us as a country, as a
There's
people?
no telling what it could do. Possibilities are endless.
I think now, Rick, about the technology back then. I mean, my watch had way more technology than those Apollo machines did. With the technology we have now going back to the moon, my goodness.
I wouldn't think it would. Well, it's going to be difficult, but still.
See, I think a lot about, and I want to see that. Maybe I'm being selfish, but I want to see us go back to the moon.
I want to see us stay there.
Because I didn't get to do it. Lockheed Martin is one of the vendors that's been making this. And if you go on NASA's website, the Orion spacecraft, and that's the spacecraft, okay? That's the spacecraft. It's the Artemis missions, though. That's the mission. So I was wrong on that. It's the Orion spacecraft is what's going to take us back to the moon. That's part of the Artemis mission. So the Artemis is the moon mission. They already have the crews and everybody selected, I think, for all that stuff. They've been in training for years.
Yeah.
But you don't hear about it. There's no news that's like, oh, hey.
I imagine when it launches, there'll be a lot of news.
Do you think in that moment, when we land back on the moon, do you think that that's going to reunite the country? What are your thoughts on that?
Probably not.
You don't think so?
No. There's going to be a lot of people against it.
I think.
There's no gendered people on the mission.
I think, Rick, that unfortunately tragedy brings people together. But I think we need some triumph to bring people together. And I'm hoping and praying that this is one of those things that in that moment, people forget about everything else and they think about they come together.
You could hope for that.
They come together.
I'm a pessimist. I don't think it'll happen, but that's just me.
I'm going to start asking you questions about like, well, what do you think about this idea? And then Rob, man, I don't think it's a good idea at all. Rick, I got $1 million. I'm thinking about giving it. Well, I don't think so.
I know a guy you can give it to to invest it for you.
Well, hey, let's take a quick break. We got to wrap it up. When we come back, we'll hit that 0 Degree Creations phone and text line.
Okay.
For a Cafe Texan winner.
Can't believe you won't give me that card. Can we just say we did it and give it to me?
Oh, yeah, we'll see what the randomizer picks today.
It won't pick me.
Your final opportunity. Let's win some Cafe Texan today, friends. All you got to do is text in your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. When we come back, we'll talk briefly about what it is today, some things you need to know very quick, and then we'll hit that 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. We'll take a brief break. Stay with us. More to come as we wrap it up on the other side. It's your show brought to you by Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. 27 years of educational excellence. You think about going back to the moon. Think about those little children if they could see that.
Yeah.
Boy, that would be an inspiration for them. And that almost feels like it flows in the Montessori method.
It might. I mean, I bet some of them astronauts are Montessori students.
Absolutely. So we'll take a break. Stay with us. We'll wrap it up when we come back. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville.
Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools believe in creating spaces where children can learn, grow, and use their imaginations. At any Tomorrow's Promise location, children enjoy the largest playgrounds in town. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori is a fun school where every child learns at their own pace, and mastery of a concept is expected before moving on to the next concept. At Tomorrow's Promise, every child is respected, loved, and nurtured for the unique individual that they are.
Tomorrow's Promise Academy on Veterans Memorial now open. Visit tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Education you can trust. The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Do. That's my poo poo. Poo poo. Poo 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 poo. It's my little girl's favorite word right now, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did she learn that at Tomorrow's Promise?
She learned it on her own. She probably learned it from me. Do you need to go poo poo? You know, I'm so happy my child is potty trained. Yeah. Man, she still has little accidents, but this morning, I mean, she just does it on her own now.
That's great.
I'm like, thank you, because the diaper prices are soaring. You know, dog food. I picked up a bag of bag. Hey, that young man in Fargo, if you're listening, I'm saying it your way. That bag of dog food. Big of dog food. You know, that thing is like $45 now.
I know.
I'm about to just switch to Old Roy. You know.
Well. My dog passed away, and I'm not planning on getting any more.
You know why they call it Old Roy?
Why?
Because if you have a dog named Roy and you feed it that stuff, it'll turn old really fast. Old Roy, the only dog food that ages your dog 5 times as fast. Old Roy. I guess that was from Sam Walton. He probably had a dog named Roy because that's the Walmart brand is Old Roy.
Yeah.
Sam's brand or whatever. Anyways, hey, real quick joke. I don't know if you know the HEB, by the way. You know their family, Henry Edward Butt, right? That's his last name. Well, you know my last name's Hip, right? Did I tell you this joke already?
No.
Well, I got a cousin in our family. His name is Thumb, Thumm. And I talk to my cousin probably once or twice a week, and I called him the other day, Rick, and I said, you know, man, we're always thinking of ideas. He's in his 50s now. He used to work at Microsoft. He was part of the developers that programmed the Exchange server back in the day. And he worked on that with some testing software. He was up there like 14 years, came back. He lives in Pearsall now, South Texas. That's how I know the town. Well, long story short is, I said, John, you know, man, if we really want to make some money, we ought to start a law firm. He goes, well, I don't know anything about law. I said, me either. But all we need to do is get a hold of one of Henry Edwards' family members. I said, man, that would be the greatest name in the law firm history, Hip, Butt, and Thumb. Injury lawyers. Wouldn't that be great? Thanks for calling Hip, Butt, and Thumb. How can we help you? That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
That'd be great.
Man, we'd just make money off the name alone.
Yeah,
so
you would.
So we're thinking about that. You know,
I think you should do that.
But you know how the law offices, they never answer their phone by their name. It's like an industry standard. It's like an ISO. You know how there's ISO things like ISO rating?
ISO 9000.
Well, it's like an ISO 9000 term for law offices. When they answer the phone, it's industry standard.
Yeah.
Law office. They never say, like, thanks for calling the Hip, Butt, and Thumb law firm, or personal injury lawyers. How can we help resolve your hip, butt, and thumb problems? You know? They never can do that.
It's a good thing.
Do you know how many people would just drive by and take pictures of the sign?
A lot.
Man,
I'd be one of them.
I mean, even if it wasn't, no, you got to have the Henry Edward family in there because it just hip and thumb wouldn't do it.
No,
you got to have hip button thumb in there. So, anyways, that's just my plans today. Hey, a couple things before we sign off. We'll call our winner here in a minute. We do have a winner on this date, 1348. King Edward III of England established the Order of the Garter. That's why I found one in the glove compartment.
I used to hang one from my rearview mirror.
Really?
Yeah.
1662, Connecticut was chartered as an English colony. They got the name from a local Indian tribe. Didn't know that. Connecticut was a word that meant really good college basketball teams back then.
You're such a fibber.
On this date in 1789, then President-elect George Washington and his wife Martha moved into the first executive mansion. That was the Franklin House, New York City. Washington confessed that he was really hoping for the White House. But he got the Franklin House there at the beginning. On this date in 1851, the very first postage stamps in Canada came out. Up until then, you mailed a letter, it would come back due to insufficient postage. It was on this date, there was no postage. On this date in 1896, the Vitascope system came out. You remember the Vitascope?
No, what's a Vitascope?
It was projecting movies onto a screen, a device that projected movies onto a screen. It was demonstrated at a music hall in New York City. It was a combination of a movie projector and a juicer, which was great for getting your vitamins, but you couldn't hear the movies. The Vitascope. But the real story, though, the Vitascope is real. In 1954, Hank Aaron, you know Hank Aaron?
I've heard of Hank
baseball
Aaron.
player, hit his first home run. 754 later, he finally stopped. Or a teammate yelled out, "Dare you to hit 754 more of those." The rest is history. 754 home runs.
That's a lot.
Boy, how about this one? This was a big flop, by the way. 1985, Coca-Cola announced that it was changing its formula, and New Coke was born.
Yeah, that was a flop.
Great day for bad ideas. Of course, this inspired the popular phrase, "What the heck were we thinking?" The person who coined that phrase said, the person that coined the phrase, "There are no bad ideas," he was fired. Because that was a terrible idea. 1988, a federal ban on smoking went into effect during domestic airline flights of 2 hours or less. So you could not smoke on those. If your flight was longer than 2 hours, you could still light up and suck in as much smoke as you like, whether you smoked or not.
Well, it's 2.5 hours from here to Vegas.
I flew a DC-80 one time from when my sister lived in South Dakota, I'd fly to Twin Cities at MSP there in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and then we'd hop on a different plane, a regional, from there to the airport in Sioux Falls. Well, you always flew on a nicer plane because it was a longer flight from Austin to the Twin Cities. But then that regional, you never knew box of chocolate. Didn't know what I was going to get. Got on a DC-80. This thing was from 1980. Still had ashtrays on it, and you could still smell the cigarette smoke caked into the seats.
Yeah, I believe that.
I remember asking the flight attendant, I said, "Do you know anything about this plane?" She goes, "Well, it's probably on its last flight." And I said, "Well, hopefully not."
I'd like it to land in.
Yeah. Today, by the way, National Take a Chance Day. We talked about it earlier. It's National Lost Dog Awareness Day.
Really?
You ever lost a dog?
Never.
I've had one run off and then it came back. Lost a couple of cats.
I lost kids.
Yeah, well, you found them.
Yeah, they came back too.
It's National Cherry Cheesecake Day.
Not a fan.
You're not a sweet guy.
I like cheesecake, just not the cherries.
Okay. It's National Picnic Day.
I'm not going to go on a picnic either.
Well, and also National Talk Like Shakespeare Day, as you said.
See?
Prince Louis, William, and Kate's kid turned 7 years old today. That's a very important news you needed to know today. Wrestler actor John Cena, 48 years old today. Is he still wrestling, John Cena?
I know he's an actor.
John Oliver, he is the host and comedian Last Week Tonight. Never heard of it. Turns 48 today. Good for him. Happy birthday to whoever you are. George Lopez, 64 today.
I know George Lopez. He's a comedian.
Valerie Bettinelli. I know her. She's 65 today. Used to star in One Day at a Time.
I remember.
She lived on the Food Network for quite a while until recently. She's now over half a century old, plus 15. that makes
she's still younger than I am.
Yeah, that makes it sound a lot older.
Yeah.
Man, she's half a century plus 15 today. The $6 Million Man. Do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Lee Majors.
You've never heard of the $6 Million Man? Where have you been?
He's 86 years old today. I'm sure the warranty has expired on most of those bionic parts. Back then, he was a bionic wonder human on TV. Today, $6 million is what it takes to get a backup shortstop for a year.
Yeah.
Maybe. The $6 million man.
I've never seen that show. It was a series.
Never did, no. Take a chance day as we talk today, encouraging us to break out of our comfort zone. You heard the Rick's Top 10 on it. Recent internet survey for Chanel, 1,500 college students ages 17 to 21 and young professionals ages 22 to 29 revealed this. 31% said they would take a chance on love. 31%. 23% said they would take a chance on traveling around the world. 18% said they would take a chance at owning their own business. There's a lot of people that are scared to own their own business.
Well, it's not guaranteed.
No, it's not.
You might not have a paycheck.
See, that's where I think faith comes into it. Because if you got the idea, just go for it. And if it doesn't work
out,
a
lot of people don't have that mindset, though.
But see, I think it's a kingdom mindset. I'm not saying it arrogantly or anything, but I think it's a kingdom mindset that if, you know what, God's going to provide.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't have that mindset.
But you got to have that mindset, regardless. God will take care of you. And I'm not saying that the business is going to be successful. It could be a big flop. But guess what? If you remain in faith, God's going to open up something else for you, and you'll be okay. Have the kingdom mind. We've been Pastor Bay's been talking kingdom culture for 7 weeks here at FBC, and it's really helped me to develop more of a mindset that, you know what, I want to think about me the way that God thinks about me.
Yeah.
My desire now is not the desire for what I have, but the desire of what God has for me. It's kingdom mindset. 61% of people in this survey prefer to ask someone out in person. Only 18% ask someone out over the phone, 7% via email. Hey, baby, will you go out with me? Don't call me baby, and no. Spam, block. A couple of other things you need to know real quick, then we'll get to that phone line. Krispy Kreme has rolled out some new donuts. How about this one? Their Craving Cheesecake Collection.
Yeah.
Do you like Krispy Kreme?
Not really.
Charles Barkley has an ultimatum to a political party. He said, well, good for you, Charles. He said he won't vote for any other presidential candidate unless it's Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro or Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Good job, Charlie. Jalen Hurts, Brianna Bry Burrows got engaged last fall. Now they're sharing they got married last spring. Congratulations, guys. If you're in a hurry, you need to grab a bottle of wine at the store. How can you tell if it's good wine? Well, the folks at the Pudding say they've done research, and here's what they found. Cats have high ratings at a high price. Birds are the middle of the pack for both price and quality. Pigs are more likely to be cheap and low rated, and amphibians and reptiles are more likely to be overhauled. Higher prices for lower quality. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
That doesn't even make sense.
I don't think you make wine out of any of those animals.
Yeah, I hope not. All right, let's head over to that. There's nothing today that's like blowing my mind. It's all gibberish. You're over here like, shut up, man. Let's get to the phone line.
I would not do that.
Just in your brain.
Oh.
Thank you for calling the law officers of Hip Button Thumb.
Best answer ever.
Oh, that's good.
Sorry, can I help you? This is the law office of Hip Button Thumb.
Somebody's been listening to your show.
Well, my neighbor's tractor ran over my thumb, and that's why I called you guys. I need an injury lawyer.
Oh, dear, you have called the right place.
Hip Button.
Which of our attorneys would you like to speak with?
Well, the one that specializes in thumbs, please.
We have that.
All right. Wow.
We'll place you on a brief hold.
Go ahead, sit down on your bottom for a while. We'll be right back. Watch out, your hip will start hurting.
Yeah, mine does.
We will help. We have help for those two.
Oh, well, thank you. Well played, Bridget. Well played.
I'm impressed.
Boy, we need to hire you as the receptionist for this law firm. What do you think? Would you call that law firm just for the name?
I would. Well, she was very professional too.
Yes.
I'd have to have some free time.
I think that law firm would be more of what do you call it? Like a iconic culture type thing. I don't know the word I'm looking for.
A cult following kind of thing?
Like a satire. Would you say satire?
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's definitely a satire.
Yeah, satire. Like people would literally just drive by and take pictures of the sign.
Yeah.
So Bridget,
I can see it.
Bridget, have you ever won anything on the show before?
Yes, but it was a year and a half ago.
Wow. Well, you've got some Cafe Texan today. Have you been to Cafe Texan in a while?
I have, and it's outstanding.
Well, there you go. Well, you got a gift card today coming your way courtesy of our friends at the Cafe Texan, Bridget. So congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Hey, quick question for you.
I hope your thumb gets well.
Yeah, thank you. My neighbor, we settled out of court. Hip, butt, and thumb were too expensive, so we settled out of court. Hey, quick question for you. Not trying to get compliments, but we're putting together our 500th episode on Tuesday, and I know you've engaged with our platform.
500.
I keep saying 500.
I know.
500th episode. I know you've been engaged with our platform for a while. Just what have you enjoyed most, about the show and Hello Huntsville, if you don't mind?
I love just getting to learn about things that I didn't know about my hometown, and just the positivity that you bring attention to. I think that when you go into life every day, you're going to find what you look for, whether it's positive or negative, and I love that you help us look for the positive.
Awesome. Well, that's what we're hoping for. So, well, Bridget, we appreciate you. Rick Boning here from Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Hey, Rick.
She knows me.
Yeah, she knows you. And we appreciate you very much, Bridget. Thank you. And, Bridget, I just wanted to say thank you for I know that you don't seek recognition, so I'm going to give it to you, though. Bridget, thank you for just being a good, positive voice for Huntsville. You are involved in so many things, and you really are helping to promote so many good things in Huntsville. So thank you. I know you don't do it for the credit, but you don't get enough credit for what you do. And I just wanted to tell you as a friend, thank you for all that you do for our community, Bridget, because you really do a lot.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to call Huntsville home.
Home sweet Huntsville. Is that what you always say?
I do, but that's actually, at least was, the city's official hashtag at one point.
Well, now
I just never stopped using it.
It's Bridget Maloney's official hashtag now, Home Sweet Huntsville. So, well, hey, God bless you. We'll see you soon, and congratulations. Big thank you for watching, Bridget. Thank you.
Thanks. I've got to get back to my clients.
All right. We'll talk to Hip Button Thumb later.
Hip Button Thumb. Bye.
That was the best.
That was amazing.
It sounded super professional.
I did.
Thank you for calling.
I thought, did you dial the right number?
Man, you know what?
And then it sunk in what you said.
Man, you know what?
What?
I've got to create a fake website now for this law firm.
Hip Button Thumb?
Yes, and because I have access to that VoIP system, I have got to create a voicemail that people can call. I bet this thing would blow up.
It might.
Hip Button Thumb. Trial injury lawyers.
Personal injury lawyers.
Personal injury lawyers. Have you got problems with your thumb, butt, or hip? Boy, have we got the lawyers for you. All right, Rick, let's take it back down.
Oh, please do.
I know you've been busy. Again, we miss Kay today, and we'll have Kay's Wednesday Wisdom coming up next time she's on. But a lot of things happening at Tomorrow's Promise. I know things at Academy are going well. Mm-hmm. Maybe just give us a couple things that have been going on lately at the school.
Like what?
Like the kids.
Oh, well, the kids are there every day.
Yeah, that's good.
Teachers are there. We've been doing some rearranging with staff to kind of cross-train and things like that.
One thing I wanted to highlight, too, is Isaiah. We're glad that y'all have him. He was on last week. Great young man.
Yeah, I invited him this morning, but he never answered me.
Yeah, he's got a busy morning probably. So.
Well, Kay's probably got him doing stuff.
Yeah, but no, I really do appreciate you guys. And I'm telling you, Rick, man, it's, y'all have just done such a great job with our children, especially I got pictures from the Easter. That was cute, man. My little girl was running around getting eggs. I love that y'all participate in all of these activities. The kids the children get involved.
I know.
They're not just sitting around watching a screen and.
No, that's what I do.
Yeah, you do that. I like to walk in. Sometimes I go get them early. And Braylon's teacher is Miss Avery. All the teachers are really good. Miss Avery's especially good. We think the world of Miss Avery too. And she's always sitting down on the carpet with them doing stuff.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to sit in the baby room and hold the babies, but I can't get down there.
Like once you sit in the garbage, like I can't get back up anymore.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm stuck down here.
Well, no, it's awesome. I know Charlotte runs she's the director over there at the Academy, and I want to remind people now. You hear us on here, and we cut up and joke around, but the reason that we have co-host and foundation sponsors is honestly to give, somebody for us to go back and forth and to promote good in the community. But of course, the reason that they're here also is to promote their organization. And so when you hear of Tomorrow's Promise on this show, make sure that you think about them when it comes to a place for your children, because I can give you a personal testimony that my children have been doing great. And I love all of my foundation sponsors, that I can say, I'm not just saying this because you support the show. We were using you guys long before I even had this show.
Yeah.
We were using the credit union long before I had the show. I knew Jason long before I had the show. Every person that we have sponsoring this program, I knew previously. And so it's not like, oh man, I'm going to buddy up this person because they're sponsored. No, I've known them.
Yeah.
And I personally enjoy endorsing the folks that we're partnered with. When I'm in the community and people ask me, what about this, what about that, I endorse our sponsors because not only are they helping our platform, but they practice what they preach and they do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, and we're personal friends. I mean, if I needed something, I wouldn't hesitate to call and ask you.
I needed a ride from Walmart yesterday, and I said, Rick, and there he was, man. Thank you.
I was 2 minutes early.
We were.
I'm waiting for a pat on the back.
Oh, yeah, sorry. 2 minutes early. Our friends at Walmart. Yeah,
we're not early.
But that's okay. I got my tires, and I'm safe. They were nice people. There's just
it's hard to make arrangements when they don't tell you.
Yeah, he goes, well, man, we'll have it out of here by then. I was like, well, it's about an hour and a half after, but that's okay. But here's the thing. I had grace. I didn't get upset. I'm like, whatever.
Well, you had somewhere else to be. And if I'd have realized that, I'd have taken you over there.
I did, but then I heard only like 3 people showed up to where I had to be anyway. So it is what it is,
Yeah.
Hey, well, we'll be back at it tomorrow, friends. Make sure to join us. Jason Bay joins the program from First Baptist. We're excited about tomorrow on a Thankful Thursday, and we'll be having a great week here. Laura Green, also from CASA, coming on the show tomorrow, because on Saturday, it's the All Things Kids Expo. Are you guys going to be out there on Saturday?
Tomorrow's Promise will be there.
Perfect. So we will be out there on Saturday. Want to remind you, there's a lot going on real quick. Saturday, the All Things Kids Expo at the Huntsville Church of Christ. Come on out. You can learn about everything happening in the community that relates to children.
And that's out on Highway 30.
On Highway 30, yeah. You know that in Austin they call it the Motor Mile because there's a mile-long stretch of I-35 that it's all auto dealerships.
Really?
So they used to say, come see us on the Motor Mile, and people in Austin knew what the Motor Mile was. Over here in Huntsville, that's called the Church Mile because there's a ton of churches along that right there, all good people. So come on out to the Church Mile and to the CASA's event happening, the All Things Kids Expo.
I saw Laura yesterday.
We were talking too. There's other stuff happening Saturday as well, and my mind just went. Phew. But anyways, we'll have it up on our website, hellohuntsvilletx.com/events. Rick, any closing comments, man?
I have nothing to add, which is sad. You've given me all these things to think about.
I was going to keep rhyming with you. You have nothing to add, which is sad. My first thought was I miss my dad.
Well, that would make you sad. I kind of miss my dad too.
But because you're here, I'm glad. And I'm so sorry for being bad. When I played the rap music that you never wanted to had. Doesn't even make sense.
You're stretching now.
All right, Rick. Well, that'll wrap it up. Hey, we'll be back tomorrow. Come join us. We love you, Huntsville. We appreciate you. Thanks for letting us ramble at you. Rick actually has useful things. I ramble. Go online, tomorrowspromise.info for more information. Kay, we love you too. And we miss you, and we hope you be well and back with us next week. Because I miss the K's Wednesday wisdom. We need it. So.
You know who we didn't say we loved?
Who's that?
Paul Ole.
Oh, yeah. We love you, Paul. Oh, yes, you do. Your magic touch, it pulls us through. The gallery, by the way.
I love that song.
Yeah. I need to find it. I can't locate it anymore. The gallery, by the way, he's working inside of the establishment there. So if you still need your framing and photography and all that, Paul's still around.
I dropped several things off to him the other day.
And Paul, I want to tell Paul something, one real quick, not to drag this on, but Paul had made a comment that he took a beautiful picture of a young lady that he took. Sunlight was perfect and all that. And Paul had said, but nobody appreciates it. And Paul, that teared me up because I want you to know that I appreciate you. And there's a lot of people who appreciate you and the work that you do. So don't ever feel like that, buddy. There's a ton of people that appreciate you, and we want you to know. I know we joke and say, but we really do. We love you, man. And go by and see Paul. Help him out. He's a good dude, and he's a great guy in our community. And he helped me get started with this platform.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's done a lot of my framing. I appreciate it.
We love you, Paul. Oh, yes, we do. Your magic touch, it pulls us through on those photography. That'll wrap it up. We'll see you tomorrow, 7:30. Hey, God bless you, Huntsville. As I end every show reminding you, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement. Lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Until next time, good morning and so long. We'll see you, Rick.
See you around.